Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Flex in the City. I'm Gada.
And I'm Lisa, checking my mic.
Mic check, mic check.
I'm Lisa, and this is episode 43. We are moving along swiftly.
We are.
Beautiful. As you can see from our attire, that we are solidly out of the summer months that we never fully entered anyway.
Oh man.
But
although yesterday was beautiful.
And the day before.
And the day before, and the day before that, and it was beautiful weather.
That was the last of it.
And then we're now, although we've been saying that's the last of it, and then
I think it's relevant to say that because it manages expectations. And then when you have a nice day, you're like, oh, wow, this is such a gift.
Yeah.
It's so unexpected.
True. Yeah.
We are in the midst of the first week of Oktoberfest as well here in Munich.
Happy Oktoberfest. If you've been, I hope you had fun. I know you've already been.
Yeah, we went just for a couple of hours with the kids.
Yeah.
And it was the first day and it was already like people sloppy vomit that we had to step over. 2 fights broke out. All the lovely family fun.
But you're still shopping for your dandin, and you still plan to go
tomorrow.
back.
I'm buying it tomorrow. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going back. What do you mean I still plan? We're going back.
I just figured, maybe you've got plans.
If I go solo, I'm going to be one of the people in the fight. So I need...
She can't. She needs, because little old me's going to...
She'll be like, Lisa, maybe it's not worth it today. I'll be like, it's not. You're right.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it's crazy. So we haven't been sleeping, actually. The baby has been coming out of his room, crying into our room.
Why?
Because the noise is so loud on the street till like 2-3 in the morning, just drunk people on the street.
Are you seeing like crowds
right
of
here,
people?
like 4 groups of like 4 or 5 people just yelling and singing in the middle of the night.
No, I didn't even think of that.
Because a lot of people, most people who live here have actually left. So a lot of our neighbors have left and are renting out their place for like ridiculous amount of money because we're walking distance from there. So yeah. Well, here we are and it's good to be back. Again, I think we missed a week, but we are back. Cheers to you. The coffee is very strong today.
It is very strong. And she didn't have any oat milk for me, so I'm drinking it black.
That's how we like it.
I think we can dive right into today's topic.
Mm-hmm. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about... We're talking about working moms versus stay-at-home moms.
Mm-hmm.
And how we're almost pitted against each other.
Yes.
And how that versus part shouldn't even be a part of our dialogue.
Absolutely. Yeah. So why can't the two coexist symbiotically?
Yeah.
Even amongst women.
Amongst women, I think we are probably the biggest
obstacle.
Culprits of that, like there's been times where I'll be with people and they'll be like, oh, well, how are you doing? What are you up to these days? How's your coaching business? Like, quote
Not
unquote.
with the quotes.
Yeah. Like, and I'm just like, okay, you don't really care to know.
Fuck you.
You just want the tea, basically.
Yeah.
The gossip, like for me to be like, oh, I'm really struggling and I should have never left the corporate. Like that's what I feel like they're trying to,
right? Because
they are corporate women and they are working moms. I'm not going to do quote unquote, but they are working moms, full-time, employed moms, doing the 9 to 5, and me not being in that 9 to 5 world to them says I am not really doing much and that I'm sitting on my ass all day long watching Netflix. And
so not a bad thing. Side note, Netflix is doing some things this season as well. Like, wow.
We need an episode just to talk
about
the series,
some of these documentaries
that we've been watching.
Because shit.
Yeah. So that needs a whole topic. That needs a whole topic.
Yeah, that's another week.
But
maybe we do that next week when we'll be in our dundle.
Yeah.
Because, Oktoberfest and festive and all of that.
We gotta be in our theme.
In our totally cultural appropriation garb. And it should be fun.
Yeah.
It should be fun. Maybe we'll have beer.
Yeah.
We won't have beer. Yeah.
No.
I couldn't commit to it even for a second. I'm like, I'm lying. It's not gonna happen.
I say so. The reason I mentioned that example is because there is kind of like this like hidden competition between women, and
not so hidden,
or not so hidden. I think it actually is. It speaks volume. Like when I'm asked, "Oh, so tell me, how is it going with you?"
This is
and
crazy work.
You know, like it's almost like, what are you doing? I'm the one out here really busting my ass.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
And for me, that just shows like, hey, you don't, first of all, you're a mother too. So you know
how hard this is.
You know the work that goes into motherhood. And you know that when you come home from work, you're doing exactly what I've been doing all day.
Yeah. There's no clocking off.
There's
it's
no
just
clocking
a different
off.
hat.
And who's to say that I'm not doing something, you know? Like I think you and I have multiple identities, you know?
Yeah.
We are hustling. Like we're not sitting on our asses. Like you're doing your Pilates coaching. You're being an advocate for anything that happens with your kid. Like you are going into the school and you're fighting for it. Yeah. You're doing something and you're not just like complaining to the admin, like you're actually going in and giving presentations to kids, you know, like I'm doing the coaching.
We're doing this.
I also support, you know, small businesses or, you know, women who are also coaches, like helping them create content for their pages. I've even tutored on the side, you know.
You're building a business is actually the kind of work that doesn't like, you don't clock off.
Yeah, you don't clock off.
Yeah, that is when you're another baby.
When you're hustling, like you're doing it around the clock, you know. There is no like, my kids will be at home. I'll be on my laptop at 7 p.m. because I need to get, you know, stuff done for the next
stuff.
I need to get stuff done for the next day, not just work related, but also for the kids, like planning them, checking their, you know, their student portals, like what is it that they need for the next day, homework, all of that, like, you know,
to wear for sports because they're not going to remember.
Yeah. So we have those different hats on all the time, whereas the working moms, they go to work and they just have that on, like they don't have to worry about anything else.
You get to focus on work. You get to have uninterrupted time, which I didn't realize until I started working with like infant at home.
Yeah.
And working from home. Literally on my laptop, we talked about this, holding the baby at the same time because he was like, I want to be next to Ma.
Yeah.
And trying to work at the same time or doing Zoom calls and having to mute myself every 5 seconds because the baby is crying because he has a cough and he wants to be next to me. I never realized that it was really this like really just this competing dichotomy where I knew even if they hear my baby crying, no one's going to have pity for me. No one's going to like, yes, they'll express maybe a little empathy, but at the end of the day, this makes me a liability to my employer.
Yeah, they might see, oh, she's not giving us all of her attention.
Exactly. Does she not have the organization to be able to set aside a place and I'm like, but this is life. Yeah. Life happens, but it doesn't matter because society at large, women included, will not look at that as something to, I guess, respect as equally as we respect employment.
Yeah.
Or being a corporate cog in the wheel. And so that's kind of the topic that I think is really relevant to try and deconstruct a little bit why we are like stay-at-home mom versus working mom or employed mom, because I think all moms work if you're actually parenting. Yeah. But yes, so like employed mother versus stay-at-home mothers. Why is there the verses, as you said?
Yeah. To add to that, like we have both sides, like it's not always greener on the other side. Like both sides have their own guilt, you 100%. Know? So like the working mom doesn't feel like they're present enough in their children's lives. Whereas the stay-at-home mom's like, I'm not contributing financially. I'm not using my brain. I am, you know, I feel ashamed that I'm not working. And I see other women that are going to work and they're being mothers and they're doing it. Like you know, there's like a level of embarrassment.
Right. Also that feeling of maybe I'm not being a positive example to my kids, that I can also work and that there's more to me than this one dimension. And so, I think, that's really, it's hard too, because we've been on both sides of it.
Exactly.
So you guys are getting a really holistic view. This is what we do for you. We live by example and bring you the lesson so you don't have to go through it. You're welcome.
You're so welcome. Yeah, I remember like I did the 9 to 5. I did that for at least with kids. I mean, my oldest is now 14.
I was gonna say, how old were your kids when you were doing the 9 to 5?
Babies.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking one of my kids, I was taking to work with me because they had a daycare at the office. You know, like I took.
Amazing though. That's so good.
That was perfect. You know,
But that's a very recent development.
Yeah, and then even then, like with the second and third, like wherever I was working at that time, they didn't have that option.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely not excuse me, it's definitely not customary. Like it's still not like mainstream to have employment offices have a space for mothers. Even a mother's room, sorry, I don't know what's in my throat. Even a mother's room, like a place for you as a mother who's just come back from maternity leave, who's lactating and like spilling all over the place.
Yeah.
There didn't until recently, and it's still in a lot of workplaces, have a room where you could do that, where you can either, put your milk in bottles and refrigerate it to take it home later, or pump in a area of privacy. Like women were pumping in the toilet. You know what I mean? Like in the bathroom, not in the toilet.
No.
But
I think they got it.
Yeah, I think they got it. So like, and still in a lot of workplaces, that's the norm, because people think, oh, you had your maternity leave, that's 3 months, come back to work, and you should automatically just be ready to switch back into this mode. And you're like, I'm in a meeting and I have to literally cross my arms because there's these wet spots that are just expanding on my blouse. Yeah. And if anyone sees that, 100%, the reaction will not be empathy.
Mm-mm.
It will be disgust. It will be, oh my God, like and
like get that shit in order kind of thing, I think I only had 8 weeks for maternity leave.
2 months?
Not even 2 months. I think it might have been 7 weeks. Like it was 6 to 7, something ridiculous where it was like a joke.
Yeah, that's
like I had just finished healing from my C-section.
You were still not even.
And then was back at work kind of thing. And C-section, I remember the healing time was 6 weeks.
6 weeks before your first like check.
Yeah.
But you're still not like.
Well, no, even
you're like healing for like a year.
Yeah. But like the whole idea of like if I wanted to go back or even start walking and like really exercising, I remember it was like he said 6 to 8 weeks. And by then I remember being back at work. So it was a joke. Whatever my maternity leave was, it was a joke.
If you think about a 6-week-old, like it's literally still like tiny little
like
fresh,
still sleeping in that small cot that I would have in my room.
Literally can't even like turn really. It's just so helpless. And to leave that at home and be like, I'm gonna go and like
that was rough.
Yeah, I can't imagine. That's ouch.
So that was like there's that guilt that came in, right? But at the same time, I knew that as a mom, I needed that. I needed to be someplace where, motherhood wasn't my only identity, where I could exercise my brain, where I could be an adult and not just be the mom with like the spit up and the, food that's been spit at her and like the one that's just changing diapers and all of that. Like, I know that I needed that.
Yeah. Which is really important, knowing that about you. And I definitely can agree with that, because I was like, there was a relief on some days. I remember when like I would be like, I get to be in the office and do work and have like adult conversations. But I think for me, and you probably agree, that need came much later. So I went back after 3 months. I still felt like I was going back a bit early. I think for you too, at 6-7 weeks, you were probably like, yes, I need that, but maybe that was a bit earlier. Then you might have wanted to get back to it. It's difficult. That story about like the lactating reminded me of is a post I saw I had a conversation with one of my guy friends about this, where he was like, I had no idea this shit even looked like this. And he's like married with 2 daughters. His daughters are still young, but still he's married. He's been with his high school sweetheart for years. So like decades. So on some level, you'd think he'd know. And it was a video of this guy who had like a plastic bottle full of like reddish liquid. He's like, I made it red so it looks like period. And he's like, now that I think about it, that probably wasn't necessary. But he's like, I want you guys to see like what happens to a tampon when you put it into water. So he opens this like tampon and it has the applicator on it.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, it looks like some kind of nuclear device. And it's so foreign to him. And he puts the whole thing into the bottle. And of course, like nothing's happening. And he's like, oh, I think I need to like pull this string. And he's like pulling it down. And he's like, wow, it's really hard. Like, do you guys go through this every time? And then something happens that he, by mistake, pushes it. And of course, the tampon comes out. And he goes, and the look of his face is like he just saw like the moon landing. He's like, oh, you push it in and it comes out. And as soon as the tampon comes out, it like swells up and fills up. And he's like, oh, so this is what happens inside you guys' bodies. Oh my God, like it just swells up. He's like, do you see how much liquid it's like soaked up? And then he goes to pull the string to take it out, and it has to come out through like the top of the bottle, right? Yeah. So he's held onto the string, and he's now pulling the tampon out, and it's squishing through. And he goes, when he's holding the string, when it's in the liquid, he goes, so you guys just like dip it in there sometimes like a tea bag? I was like, what kind of situation do you think? But it was really good for him to post it and speak about it, because you could see that he was realizing his ignorance as he was going through the exercise, which is the purpose of it. But as he pulled it out and it squished the liquid, he's like, wow, like it's a struggle to pull it out. And he's like, do you guys feel like all of that, like just like seeping out when you like pull it out? Like, is that what it is? And you could just see this whole process. And then when he took it out, he's like, this is crazy. And he's like, and I still have this applicator here. And he's like, I don't even know what to do with all this stuff now. And he's like, how do you guys have this? And we never even see it. Yeah. And I was like, this is such a good point, that like something that we have to go through that is part of our normal lives all the time is so like hidden, like bottom shelf. You don't even, a man never even can be married to a woman for 20 years. And my friend was telling me this. He's like, I didn't even know what that was. He's like, I've never seen that thing in my life. Like the torpedo thing. And I was like, torpedo thing? The applicator.
Oh yeah. I just told Khaled about it the other day, and he was like, what?
What is that?
Like you just shoot it up in there? And I'm like, well, first of all, that's
doesn't shoot up.
Not how it works.
It's not an easy.
But he's just like, just this, literally. He did this just like that. And I'm like, how do you not know this shit?
They don't know.
They don't know.
But it's because of us. Like we have like hidden
a level
something
of
that
embarrassment.
And I think that's so societal. Like it's like been this thing that we've like been made to feel as dirty and secretive, and no one should know that you're on your period. And I'm like, we go to work, we play sports, we run marathons, we, have sex, depending on what your preferences are. Like we do all of these things. We get up and we still take care of the household. Everything has to continue business as usual with this, going on. And us not only doing that, but going through that process of covering it up and never, ever making that public. So the same energy comes to like when we have babies, like we cover this whole process up when we say, yes, I'm back at work. No one should know that I've given birth. No one should know that like I might still have to wear a freaking like diaper and pads to work. No one has to know that I have to wear breast shields because my boobs are like leaking. I think part of what also makes it this versus, because it's like the two have to be completely separate. And in that regard, we as women, I think, are the biggest perpetuators of it. Perpetrators. Wow, making up words. So
we can argue both that it is women that we've allowed it to go on for so long, but I think we live in a patriarchal society where that's not something that is meant to be discussed. You yourself said at some point you were looking for jobs, you were pregnant, and you had to hide the fact that you were pregnant. Why? Because if they knew that you were pregnant, you probably would never have been hired. They probably would have never even looked at you.
Yeah, liability.
And your liability. So it's like what comes first? Is it, okay, it is a patriarchal society, but we need to really break down those walls and be like, enough is enough. But at the same time, I mean, you've had all these movements throughout the years where, women are constantly having to break down these barriers, fight these obstacles just to get to where we are today. So it's like, how much more do we have to give or do for it to get to the point where, what we're doing, first of all, is the most natural thing. if you think about biology, like having babies, procreating, all of that is
literally
life. It is life.
Yeah.
So why is it that we are almost being judged for it, although it is an expectation on us?
I think it's part of also what we mentioned before when we were chatting for like 4 hours before we started.
All research.
Yes.
All research.
All part of the process. Which is that our adaptability is our biggest like blessing and curse as women, because yes, we're able to sort of move and malleably like reshape ourselves to fit situations and thrive. But at the same time, because of that, it puts us in a position to be, that the party that is most likely to say, okay, well, I either like put up or shut up. Like I just have to find a way to make it work. And if the system is not willing to give me a way to make it work, I have to adjust.
I will make it work.
And so I think in a lot of ways, women have said, well, I'm not going to be acknowledged for trying to get more. I'm going to be pitted against other women who don't want kids or who are done having kids, or, like the line behind me is long. So if I want to get off the roller coaster, like someone will take on my spot. And so it's this finite opportunities for women, finite ability or chance to grow or progress in your career. And you realize I can't put another obstacle in my way. Yes, there's obstacles to earning as opposed to men. There's obstacles to getting the same jobs and leadership. Already those exist. Why would I add another? So the system is what it is. Let me try and work within it. And we've done that for so long that we've trained society to be like, women they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll find a way.
Yeah.
Which is our biggest, I think, one of our biggest drawbacks. So
it's almost like it's not even like they'll find a way. It's like they have to find a way because we're not going to support them, or we'll say we support them, but in actuality, like
right. And what you said about competition as well. There'll be one woman who says she needs to ask you to find a way. I'll be the one woman who says I don't need you to do it for me.
Yeah,
I'll make it happen, and that will give me a head on the other women. And then the other women say, actually, yeah, I'm also going to do that. And then I'm also going to do that. And then we say, all right, well, even if that's a possibility, it doesn't mean that it's a way that we have to live.
Yeah.
Yes, we can do it. We can do all of it. And we can do it in some ways a lot better than men.
Mm-hmm.
But we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to say one thing might have to have my attention and then the other. There are ways to make the two coincide, which I think like that post that we were talking about is really poignant in pointing out.
I think there's some things that you wanted to read from it.
Yeah. There was one thing that she...
Oh, sorry.
Is it a TikTok?
This is what I opened to. You guys got to see a pregnant woman.
Oh my God, it's totally
and there's a chocolate fountain.
I didn't see the
licking the chocolate fountain. That's what I opened to. That's not what that's not. But
also,
like,
what were you watching before?
What the hell? Or is that I was watching this.
Oh, okay.
This.
Then your phone is listening to us and it's like, pregnant. I heard pregnant.
Literally.
Yeah, that's scary.
Found.
Yeah, so there's a post that we shared earlier that we were talking about that really was a more succinct way of talking about some of the things that we're raising today. And it was by, which I want to speak about also a little bit because I just did a Scandal rewatch. And I'm going to get back to that because it's on topic. But it's by Shonda Rhimes. If you know Shonda, you already know. If you don't know Shonda, shame on you. Organize your life. Find out. I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, so she talks about, as you know, this mogul who has created this production company and these beautiful shows that a lot of us love: Grey's Anatomy, Bridgerton, Scandal, of course, How to Get Away with Murder, all of these. And so she says, so she had this discussion that was a thread about the brutal truth, the brutal truth about ambitious motherhood. And I'll paraphrase some of the things, but
I just don't want it to lock on you.
Oh, I was like, oh, you just liked it twice.
Oh, seriously?
So Shonda stood in front of thousands of graduating students and said something apparently no successful mother is meant to admit. Quote, whenever you see me somewhere succeeding in one area of my life, that almost certainly means I am failing in another area. End quote.
That gave me chills.
Yeah, right? She goes on to say, if I am killing it on a Scandal script at work, I am probably missing baths and story time at home. If I'm at home sewing my kids' Halloween costumes, I'm probably blowing off a rewrite I was supposed to turn in. And every entrepreneurial mother in the audience probably thought, finally, someone said it. So just briefly on that, we've talked about like those competing, I think not just like desires, but also like pulling at your heartstrings.
Yeah,
Because
this
when
tug of
you,
war.
yeah, like internal turmoil, but also like externally, people will be like,
So
oh, you should be at
you should be at
your,
home
yeah,
with your kids, or you should be at work from your boss or your superior
right,
or your employee, your colleagues. Like, you should be at work taking care of this.
right.
We
Like,
have a
how are you
deadline. Like,
not,
yeah,
like, I don't care about what's happening at home. You
yeah,
need to be here. We pay you to be here. I don't want to hear about
yeah.
anything else. Um, And so she calls it the Faustian bargain one makes with the devil that comes with being a powerful working woman who is also a powerful mother. Put it
Sorry,
right
this is
there.
where the Faustian bargain comes in.
And here's what she understood the most, that most of us are still learning. The trade-off isn't a failure, it's physics. You have finite energy, finite hours, and finite emotional bandwidth. Women pretending they excel at everything simultaneously aren't more capable. They're either lying, delegating invisibly, or heading for a breakdown. She chose honesty. Shonda said, you never feel 100% okay. You never get your sea legs. You're always a little nauseous. Something is always lost. Something is always missing. That nausea, that's not a bug in your system. That's the feature that comes with building something meaningful while raising humans. Woo! Listen. So, and it goes on, which we'll discuss as it goes on. But just to talk about that, first of all, the fact that all these women said sort of this, finally, someone said it, goes to what we talked about with this judgment that we have on ourselves and ultimately each other, where we won't even address it because you're so scared of how you will be seen, to say that I want to have something more than my motherhood. And that doesn't make me less of a mother. She talks about it being an integration and about how it's a lifestyle where you have both working and moving.
Multi-dimensional, I think she says,
That's
right?
yeah, I'm looking for that one actually. Here it is. So the work-life balance everyone talks about doesn't exist for CEO mamas. What exists is work-life integration, and it looks like this. Some seasons your business gets you your best energy. During launches, your kids might eat more takeout. During growth phases, bedtime stories might be shorter. During busy client periods, they might spend more time with dad or caregivers. Some seasons, your family will get your priority. During sick weeks, projects might get delayed. Summer breaks, you might work fewer hours, or during developmental milestones, meetings might get rescheduled. Most days, you're making imperfect choices with incomplete information. That's not failure, that's conscious leadership of your own life. We read this before and we even discussed it, and we were both like, when we read parts of that, because I was like, well, like, I don't really want to like
the takeout part, right?
Yeah, the takeout. Like, my kids are gonna like.
We both flinched at that.
I was like,
what?
Oh.
They gotta eat healthy. They gotta, because otherwise moms are gonna judge us for our kids not eating healthy.
Right, and like bedtime, like I should be there every night. Like, there's already this like very heavily ingrained guilt and judgment that we create, even for someone just talking about something. And again, this is why it's an integration, because it's what works for you as a mom. Some moms are really, truly okay and totally fulfilled having the stay-at-home mom be everything in their life.
Yeah.
Because that is, even before they were mothers, that's the one thing that they wanted. That is their sole passion, and they're okay with that. But that okayness shouldn't translate into judgment for women who are necessarily impassioned by more than only motherhood. And for that, we also need to be gracious and forgiving of the fact that you're not going to be able to do everything perfectly. I just locked it. But even when you're a stay-at-home mom, this doesn't mean that you're going to do everything perfectly either.
Yeah.
Because having been at both sides of that spectrum, even when you're a stay-at-home mom and you're like, I have all this time, there's some days you get to the end of the day, you're like,
where does the time go? What did I even do? I didn't even do anything today, Or
your kids get home and they're like, you ain't doing shit every day. Like,
yeah,
okay,
my
they don't
kids
talk to us like that.
Well, but they sometimes they do think that, I think, like secretly. They'll be like, do you really think, I've had to tell my boys, do you really think that I sit at home just like staring at myself in the mirror all day long? Like,
yeah.
what do you think that
They
I'm
actually
doing?
do.
You
They
know?
actually do. Yeah. No, they really do at some level.
And I think that's to go with that is that when we think of stay-at-home moms, we really think that they're not doing anything. That there is, but there is that invisible work that is there that nobody sees.
The thankless part.
Thankless part. But if you were to outsource those invisible jobs,
that's an 8-figure salary.
Cooking. No, you don't want to cook? You have to hire a cook. That's
for
gonna
every
be
meal,
expensive.
every day.
You don't want to clean the house? You got to hire a cleaner.
Plus laundry.
You don't want to teach your kids? You got to hire a tutor. Laundry? You got to go dry cleaning.
Or childcare if you have a kid that needs that.
Yeah, like all of those things.
You
don't want to drive or you can't drive, you got to hire a driver or you got to pay for public transportation or whatever it is. All of these jobs that we're doing as moms is thankless. It's invisible. Nobody sees it.
Yeah.
But it also is like so costly if we were to want to bring in external help,
like to outsource it.
it.
Absolutely. I think there was something that was done many years ago where they literally put a price tag on how much you would earn if you actually
$180,000.
Which I think is below.
It's still below, but
below.
It was a study done in
But women earn 70 cents on the dollar.
It was a study done in 2019 that calculated how much a woman should be earning if she was actually paid for everything that she does. And it was 180,000. And then they were like, oh, and plus bonuses and whatever, it would come out to like 200,000.
Plus bonuses.
Do you get what I mean? So like there is a number. There is a number out there for how much we should be getting.
And if you're cooking gourmet, like already there should be an increase.
Lobster, crab, you know,
because it could just be cereal for dinner every day.
It could be.
No judgment, but
really.
Food.
Although yesterday I did do that because I was feeling a bit under the weather. I think with, Auntie Flo came to visit me just a bit ago, so I now know why I was feeling under the weather because it was the day before. And I literally told my husband, I was like, just give him cereal. Like
and they'll be okay with
They'll be okay. Just give him cereal tonight.
Yeah. And they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah. And I'm sure you judged yourself on some level.
I did. I was like, oh, crap. My kid just came back. He was playing football for a couple hours. He needs protein. It should be. But you know what? He's 14 now. He went in. He made some eggs. And he even says he'll he makes his eggs better than me and Khaled. So, like, you know what? Fine. Honey. You can make
that was the flaw in his plan. He's saying that because now you are not making eggs.
I'm like, you're hungry?
Sort yourself.
Here are the eggs. Go
Have
for
fun.
it.
Clean up.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really difficult to try and think about in I think like a way that's even holistic's not the word I wanted to use, but like a way that's gracious even to ourselves, because we don't want to sort of allow ourselves to say that's totally okay. Like that's totally okay for them to have cereal one day. Or if you had to do that for work, you would probably feel more guilty.
100%.
Because it's like, oh my God, work should never, ever rival my job as a mother. And that's sort of the rivalry that shouldn't really exist, because why do we have a system that doesn't allow both to be able to thrive at the same time? Yet we as women are expected to thrive at both.
Yeah.
But the system actually makes it harder for the two to coexist.
It doesn't want us to thrive at both.
Right.
It's like it literally forces us to decide.
Right.
Pick one or the other. What is more important? And if you don't pick the right one, then you're either a bad employee, bad CEO, you're a bad mom.
Right. Right. And this is why I really like that part, which said you're never going to be 100% at both.
Yeah.
So this whole idea of like, I'm putting 100% into work, even though things aren't great at home, or I'm putting 100% into my motherhood and things are suffering at work, that expectation is unrealistic. Like, in order to make the two coexist, you have to understand that it's happening all at the same time together. And you're never going to be perfect for both.
And I think the kids need to see that. I think
that is the next part.
Which is the whole element of being human and seeing that you're not perfect, and which is where I think she says live with intention as opposed to.
Yes. So she talks about intention, and she talks about being present and fulfillment, but really the importance of your kids also seeing you. So, even if you are a stay-at-home mom and that's your passion, your kids seeing you impassioned by something is so important, because they're like, wow, mom, dad really love A, B, C, D, and they are going 100% for it. What is it that I love? Oh shit, I just touched the mic. Sorry.
You are all over your mic today.
Completely. Sorry, guys.
All you're going to hear the whole time is...
Sorry about that, guys.
I want to know what this is going to
I'm impassioned.
Like.
That's why.
I literally banged it like 5-10 times.
But yeah, and so, they're like, what do I love? What is it, something that I can pursue and put everything into and be impassioned about? And that's lovely. That's a beautiful thing for them to grow up seeing. And so if your passion is just, and not just, because that's a big role.
See, you added the just.
If your passion is fully to be a mother and a stay-at-home mom and nurture your children in entirety, then do that with passion. Let them see the passion with it. Let them see you express the joy that gives you, express the love languages that you can, apply through how you cook, how you clean for them, all of these things, how you raise them, how you listen to them. That can be your passion, and they will see that, not only just as you as a mother, but you as an individual who's impassioned. Same thing with if your passion is a present mother who works as a CEO or who is in the corporate world or who has, a job that just kind of lights your fire. Let them see that fire. Let them see you. Yes, I'm coming home to be here with you guys. You know what? I'm also going to take a minute and I'm going to be on my laptop working on this. And this is really important. Let them ask you, why is that important? Explain to them, this is what I do. This is why I love this. This is why I really like this.
This client is important to me right now. Just like you're important to me too, but this is also on a different level, a different side of my life that you need to see, that there is also another dimension to who I am, and that,
and
life
mommy manages to
life doesn't revolve around just this.
And this is also important for kids to grow up knowing that life doesn't only revolve around them. Because imagine, like in a lot of cases, you find male children who grow up in environments where, the world revolves around them in their household. And then they get into the actual world and they expect to find a woman who's also going to allow her world to revolve. And disappointment is inevitable, especially if you're meeting self-respecting women. So like, we are also preparing our children for the world in terms of letting them understand that there's competing parts of who you are. And obviously nothing competes with your kids, but you're still a multifaceted human. And what she says further on this thread, I can't speak today, what your kids actually need to see, and this is Shonda, is where her wisdom gets revolutionary. That's what it says here. I didn't make that up. Quote, I want my daughters and sons, I want my children, I'm going to replace daughters with children. I want my children to see me and know me as a woman who works. I want that example set for them. In their world, mothers run companies. In their world, mothers own Thursday nights. If you know, you know. In their world, mothers work, and I am a better mother for it. Your kids don't need a mother who does everything perfectly. They need a mother who shows them what women are capable of. So when your children see you taking important calls with confidence, making decisions that affect other people's livelihoods, creating something from nothing, building systems that work without you, negotiating, strategizing, leading. They're not just learning that mothers sacrifice everything for work. They're learning that mothers are multidimensional humans who contribute to the world beyond carpool and snack duty.
I mean, again, and this goes back to, there's nothing wrong with the carpool and snack duty, but that there is it just touches on the whole multidimensional, that while she's doing the CEO thing, she is also thinking in the back of her head, oh, I need to worry about.
Did you say CEO?
Yeah, I did.
Oh God, I loves it. I was like, she just sprinkled that in there.
That she is also thinking about snack duty and
still doing it.
And still doing it.
So like, it doesn't change the fact that you're just neglecting your duties.
Yeah.
I think your duties expand, but you're showing them that you're not just multidimensional, that you're multi-capable.
Yes.
Which, we are. I'm killing it today.
Killing it.
All phrases, copyright. Copyright.
TM.
TM. I will make an admission. When I was working full time before I became a mom, I do remember myself being
judgy.
Oh, I love how you put it in an upbeat voice so that it doesn't sound terrible. I was judgmental as hell. I had a colleague who she was older, but she was actually a director at the time, but she was pregnant and she used to, she was really sick and she took a lot of days off, and it was really hard to sort of work together with her or collaborate because she was not available a lot. And I was like, listen, if you can't do the job, like,
we'll
pick
find
one.
somebody else.
Yeah, like
yeah.
if pregnancy is too much for you to handle, you're not going to handle motherhood. Get it together.
Yeah.
I was really judgmental, and the universe said, really? Hold on. And then it gave me, my own experience and my own working while pregnant, and puking into the garbage can under my desk at work because I still had to keep it moving, and realizing, wow, as harsh as I was, this is how we are to each other as women. And it's hard. And as harsh as we are, it shouldn't come to me being in the same situation.
For you to understand.
Exactly.
What would you say to this woman now?
Oh, we've spoken since. I even told her. We're on LinkedIn and I was like, girl, I was so mean to you, but I get it.
And she probably figured that everyone around her was
no, she
judging
has
her
more
anyway.
stories. She's like, I didn't even realize that you guys were thinking that way, because she was so busy dealing with our CEOs, like our directors, telling her that essentially, in not as many words, like, you're going to have to pick. You can't be in a leadership position on this team if you're suffering from acute, I think she had like preeclampsia and like, all of these like issues that happened with her pregnancy. Like, they essentially were like, we don't know how to work with you.
Yeah.
And so she was so busy and focused trying to hold on to her position and still show up as much as she could, knowing that no one would give her pay. She's like, I wasn't even seeing you guys in the background. Like, this is another aspect of it too, is that there's a silent battle that someone might be fighting that you don't even see. So even like what we talked about with how we hide our periods, and think about like high school, where you're so embarrassed about your period, but you have like sports every day. You might play on a basketball team. You have a tournament that's like 6 hours.
And you're bleeding and you have to like just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, I'm 5 hours into this tampon and I need to change it, but my team's about to go onto the court and I got to go play.
I remember those volleyball days. Oh my God.
Yeah. Mine was basketball. I remember.
Shit.
I remember.
I don't know how we did it.
Honestly, I really don't know. I really don't know how. Because
it's not, no one prepared us for it either. It's not like our mother sat us down and said, hey,
it's a secret. And
that's it.
Really, yeah.
Like it was just, I remember being ashamed of it.
Yeah, same.
And that's something that I think we've all carried. I'm hoping that mothers today, and I feel pretty positive about it. That girl mothers today are
more
gracious with their daughters than our generation. But again, our mother's generation also, like, you think their mothers
they didn't know anything different.
No, and
they're just like, no one needs to know about it.
And my as an Arab woman, a Muslim Arab woman, like that culture was like, oh, you're gotten your period, you're also now ripe for the picking. Like you now,
right, you need to be getting married.
You need to be getting married. Like that was the next part too. So that was kind of like what was associated with you are now a woman,
ready,
and you're ready
to rear children of your own.
But there were still children.
Still a child. I mean, man.
It's a whole
other topic in and of itself. But it's like naturally, like that's something that's, I think some women have taken it too far with this whole like free bleeding thing. Because I'm like,
sorry.
Like, nah.
If there's any free bleeders listening to us.
I respect your right to do that, like in your house.
We don't get it.
But like I've seen people like taking videos of it
on the grass,
posting it in the car, on the car seat.
We don't want to see that. But again, is that like on us?
This is the question,
man. Is it on us because we're like not comfortable in our bodies?
And like maybe,
or is it a cleanly? I don't know what it is.
I mean, it's not. is it it's not technically dirty either, but it's
No, it's not dirty in terms of it's
no, but we
messy.
think about it as like, yeah.
I don't think of it anymore as dirty, but I see it as
I
messy.
think of it as dirtier than like if I cut myself, I'm not going to be as like, ooh, I get like got blood on my finger.
Right.
Period blood hits different. At least for me. But that's my nurture.
You mean like
talking.
if you bleed through your pants, for example?
No, that's just like, oh my God.
That's embarrassment.
Worst fear of every woman.
Yeah.
But
which has happened to all of us. Like I don't know any woman that it's not happened to.
If it's never happened to you, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I'm sorry, but
it's coming. I think it's almost like a rite of passage. Every woman has to go through it.
Or has the fear of it happening. Yeah. Or that's why you like had the sweatshirts in high school, because in case of anything, wrap the sweatshirt around your waist.
Never wear white pants in high school.
Yeah, this
ever
tells you what time of the month it is for me right now. But like, I feel my nurture has taught me that like period blood is dirtier, because I do inherently find myself more grossed out by that. But yeah, there's a lot more to it. It's not just, I mean, I won't go into it. It's a lot of things happening.
It's also like going back to Islam. Like, for example, you're not supposed to be praying when you're on your period.
You're not even meant to be around.
You're not even like, you
right?
go to the mosque. No. That's not.
That in our culture, the women who, like in older cultures and even in some tribes now, when the women are menstruating, they are like moved away from the main. Yeah, it's considered like unclean. It's great, which is like, that's what I mean. Like, this is our nurture telling us that. Yeah. So this is also the reason why, like, it's not considered something that is a core need for women to be able to have all of the stuff that we need to be able to handle it. This is why you have a huge bunch of women, especially in Africa, in Kenya, this is a big deal, who are not educated simply because once they start their period, they can't go to school.
Because they
have no pads. They have nothing.
Yeah.
And so it's almost, and the government says, well, this is not like a basic need. It's a luxury. And it's like, no, it actually, their access to education is stunted by the fact that they don't have this basic need. My mom told me stories about back in the day when they were growing up, and it was a piece of cloth that they used to use that you hand wash all the time. And it like cuts up like the inside of your legs because of the, like it's really uncomfortable. Like obviously like bacteria, like there was nothing that you could like have and throw away when they were growing up.
Yeah.
And if you even had that cloth, you were better off than some other people. So it's like what women go through in terms of our bodies and our nature has been like disregarded so much, to the point where we have been forced to adapt to say, okay, well, no one's going to talk about it. No one's really going to help me. And now I have to find a way to still be able to procreate, to still nurture my home and my household and my family, and provide if need be, but also to shut up about it.
You just said it right there. Like, we have to, like,
and that almost put tears in my eyes.
We almost have to hide this whole part of our identity, which at the same time, it's like such a natural part of us.
It's our identity.
It is our identity, but we have to hide it.
You get your period and you say you've become a woman.
Yeah.
That's your identity.
But we're made to feel ashamed and embarrassed at the same time about it. And then we have to live the rest of our lives hiding that whole side of us.
Mm-hmm. Or apologizing for it. I'm so sorry. My kid is sick. I have to hold him during the call, or I'll have to be on mute during that Zoom call because I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'll be late. I'm so sorry I can't attend that meeting because I have to pick up my kid.
That needed an exhale.
It needed a moment.
I think we have a hard time asking for help.
Yes.
Women in general, because we've just been taught to just, like just swallow it and just withstand all that. And what was it, the word that we used earlier where your father said that's our curse? And
our gift or our curse is our resilience.
Resilience.
Yeah. Is it resilience?
No. I have moments with my friends, and I've had it with you too, where like we disappear for like a week and we don't hear.
Adaptability. We
don't hear from each other. And it's like, when we finally do resurface, and I'll message you or whatever, and I'll message one of my friends, and they'll be like, yeah, I was just like, I was just out. Like, I just was having a tough time this week. It's almost like, damn, like I knew that you were struggling, but I didn't reach out. And at the same time, that person who was struggling was like, I don't want to burden anybody with this. I don't want to trouble anybody with this because it's just ingrained in us that we always have to like hide this part of ourselves.
Suck it up, keep it moving. Yeah. Also, because the times when you might give yourself that moment, something else will happen.
Yeah.
It's really difficult if you don't consciously, I think, create them. So notice the need is there, and then also saying, I actually need a break today.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky enough to have support of a partner, if you're lucky enough to have family that's supportive, that can say, yeah, go ahead, take time for yourself, use it, take it.
Yeah.
It's such a gift to have. Or if you have a community of people who are like,
we got you.
I asked you how you're doing, and you answered in one word, and you said, okay. And I know you're not okay, so I'm going to ask you again. And I'm going to need for you to tell me when you're ready, but I'm going to need for you to tell me and let it out.
Yeah.
And that's the type of friend I endeavor to be, because some people are harder, tougher nuts to crack.
I feel like you're sending me a message.
Just hypothetically.
Yeah.
We talked about it before, maybe just me and you. I don't know if we've talked about it on the pod, but about how, a lot of people, like relationships, for example, break down because people believe that you're meant to get everything from your significant other, from your partner. And that's a really unfair burden to place on them. And it also limits you, because there's a time when they might not have 100% to give to you. And that means you don't have the support or the outlet that you need. Whereas if you have your partner who is supportive, but you also have a community or friends or, family close by, people who are trustworthy, that really, truly care about your welfare, this is probably the best type of free therapy that you could ever get in the world.
100%. And I think we even we read that somewhere, right? Like it was like the survival to relationships.
Yeah. Survival guide for relationships.
To have someone outside of that relationship that you can bitch and moan to. Right?
Even about the relationship.
Even about the relationship itself.
But yeah, it's really important. And I noticed this because we have a group chat that I'm still a part of that is, I forget what we call ourselves. But it's just this ladies group chat. It's a group of Kenyan women who I met early on when I first moved to Sydney. And I've been in this group chat forever. And I usually am one of those creeps that just kind of reads everything and doesn't say much. And you congratulate people when things happen, but usually you're just kind of like, me. But when I was there, and there was an event or a birthday or, anything like that. Like I remember when I went and I had to take my oath when I was being, sworn in as a solicitor of the Supreme Court of New South Wales. I went and my family wasn't there, and I was like, and I didn't have a partner at the time, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to this ceremony, whatever, because I have to take the oath and tick the box. And one of the girls who was in the group, who has a child at the time, she was a single mom, she had a job, she had all these things, and she was like, oh, don't you have your thing coming up? And I was like, yeah, it's coming up, but it's on it's going to be 20 minutes. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm going to come. Yeah, when exactly is your time frame? And I told her, and she showed up for me. And
oh, you got emotional.
I didn't realize that it meant something until I was there and I saw someone who their sole purpose was to be there for me. And it was, like I said, 20 minutes. And it meant so much. And she is one of the first people I met. Actually, I met her at a salon. I was getting my hair done, and she walked in and she was loud and boisterous, very Kenyan. And I was like, okay, I'm Kenyan too. And we started talking, and already she was like, I know all these people, da 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 da. I know you just moved here. Let me know if you need anything. She was lovely. And so I got into this group chat. And while I was there, yes, we met up, we went to events and we supported each other, but I really never felt this need to oh my God, you guys, I need to reach out. Oh my God, like, because I knew I had it. And I actually never really noticed the value of that community till I got here.
Because it's been something that you've been lacking.
And I actually put in the group chat, like last week or the week before, I was like, because I could see they were having a conversation about one of the girls who did this like Africa Film Festival event. And they were like, Esther, this was lovely, well done, da da da. Everyone's just congratulating her. I congratulated her as well. And I just like had a moment and I was like, I'm gonna say it. And I was like, you guys, this, what you have here, how you support one another, how you constantly show up for each other, you don't understand how rare and valuable this is. And I was like, it's not until I was in a situation where that wasn't there that I realized how valuable that is. And even just being on the periphery and reading it and seeing that there is like this type of community that does exist, like there's this like support for each other as women and sisterhood and people like showing up for each other's kids now and like, and families going on vacations together. And I was like, this is something that can exist. And if that's something that like I can have a hand in trying to bolster in this environment for other women who I know 100% can feel that isolation like we've felt, then that's like a great inspiration. But yeah. And they were like, thank you for reminding us too. Because they were like, we take it for granted.
I think that's the other thing too, is that we do forget that sometimes. Like, and I know you and I think we're maybe a little off topic, but it is still somewhat connected. This whole women supporting women, and we would, this whole motherhood versus like stay-at-home moms versus working moms would not be such an issue if we were a little more supportive. But I think, we have both, you and I have felt like this level of loneliness being here. But we also forget that we do have each other.
Yeah.
You have also met people along the way.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not people that you're going to divulge your deepest, darkest, insecurities or secrets to. But along the way, like, you have been building community. And I think wherever we are in this world, maybe community, like the definition of it might change a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily,
it's never going to be exactly the same.
In my head, I'm thinking my community, I want all Arab Palestinians. And you are probably thinking, I want Kenyans and I want...
I don't want all Kenyans. We are too dramatic.
Or maybe it's just more like, Black women or women who are, are raising biracial kids and whatever, like women who truly get it. But I think on some level, like women, regardless of ethnicity, color, age, right? Like we need women, and it, like we take what we can get.
Mm-hmm. I really want to go back to something you said on a previous episode too, where you talked about how the psychology of how men relate to each other versus how
men is like to the degree of a cousin, and women is to the degree, like we let women into the degree of a sister. Sibling.
And so there's something about how we can relate and nurture one another. And we literally can be the make or break, because I think the biggest aspect of the guilt for work life versus mom life is that judgment from other mothers. It's the, there's another mom who's doing it so well. There's another mom or another woman who's going to take my position, or other women are going to look at me and say that I neglected my career for family or for my man or whatever. There's so much of it that revolves around how we're seen by each other. And if that was always something that was actually positive and not fear creating, like think of how much more we could do for each other. This is also why we need more female CEOs.
CEOs.
But not the ones, the ones. Not those ones.
Yeah. Women, you know who you are.
Not the ones who want to clip each other's wings.
No, not
But
those.
Yeah, certainly the ones who understand and have worked legitimately to get to where they are and, send the elevator back down.
Yeah.
For others. So
like, we talked about earlier, like the whole, is it that we live in a patriarchal society, or is it that women aren't? So like, what is it that needs to be done? And I think we can't wait around for
men to do it for us.
We can't wait around for the world to change. I think we need to step up.
Yeah.
And just be our allies, each other's allies, and
It's the same as like when you talk about like anti-racism. Like if status quo is comfortable for like a majority of people who say that the system works, racist system works for my life to be easier, I'm not going to do anything to actually try and destabilize that because it means it's easier for me. It's the same with the patriarchal system. Ultimately, men are not going to say, I'm going to make my life more difficult to accommodate people who are going to benefit from my life being more difficult.
Yeah, why would they do that?
Why would they? And so yeah, that task falls to us.
You are struggling today.
Listen, I don't know what it is. It's the Oktoberfest in the air.
Although you'll see us there next week.
You know,
we're talking shit, but we'll be there in our dandin.
Research.
Yeah.
We can bring the stories back to you.
You got to think also there was once upon a time where women literally had zero rights, zilch, nothing. Like they were meant to serve their husbands. And I'm sure
in some households, that's the situation.
That's still the situation, but some women weren't empowered enough to actually stand up and say something. So now, like there is that shift
in some countries.
So that's why we now can say that we hold a little bit of responsibility in that.
I also,
on that note, we can end it right here.
Yeah.
But I think what we want, I think the takeaway is for women to learn to support one another, stay-at-home moms to not discredit what they do, that it is work that they're doing as well, and that work-at-home moms not to feel less than just because they're not at home.
Work. Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Work at home. Yeah. So.
Yes, but everybody is on some level going through something that we can't see, but certainly pitting career against carer.
Ooh.
Should not ever be a thing. So.
I love that.
We have our.
So on that note, we'll leave it there. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, what your, how you view this whole competition, which I think we have come to the conclusion that there should be no competition, but it is there. It does exist. Let us know in the comments your thoughts. If you're not already following us, follow us, show us some love, and
thank you for the new followers too.
Yeah, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.